There is another question from Ramin Z. Why did you move from California to Missouri? That is a very good question. Originally, I came to America in the year 2008. When I came to America, I came direct and I studied in the state of West Virginia. But I had to do my orientation, first of all, 1 week orientation in California. I did my orientation at Stanford University in San Francisco. That is where I did my orientation. After 1 week, I went to West Virginia, which is one among the poorest, cheapest state in America. And I was there as a university professor for 1 academic year, from August 2008 to May 2009. At that time, I was teaching Swahili language and African culture to Marshall University, which is in West Virginia. After that, I was trying to find different scholarships, and among the scholarships I got was at one among the most famous universities in California, University of San Diego. So when I went there, I did my master's in peace and justice studies or conflict resolution. I finished there and I continued my life there. I got married. I started my family in California. When I joined in the Navy, you are given 2, 3 chances where to choose where to go. I didn't choose California, but they chose me to continue to live in San Diego because it is cheaper for the government for me to relocate from California to go maybe to Virginia or Florida while I already live in California. So they allowed me to continue to live in San Diego. So I lived there for about 7, 8 years. It is very, very expensive there. Cost of living. While I was in the Navy, while I was in the Navy, the cost of, my apartment, or the house I was living, it was about 1,000 and how much? It was $1,885 US for 2-bedroom apartment. That was very, very expensive. So for that case, it was very difficult for me to survive in that kind of life. So when I got out of the Navy, I was sure I cannot be able to buy a house in California. It would take me years to move away from California. So I had to find different ways why I have to move there. So when I was looking for jobs, I was avoiding jobs in California. I can find a few jobs in California because I was already there. I don't need to have cost of relocating. But my priority were states which are affordable. So I didn't want to apply very full-time jobs, especially in New York, in DC, Maryland, Virginia, Hawaii, few jobs in California. So I was looking for jobs which are very, very stable in affordable states. That's why I was able to move to California, to come to here in Missouri. So when I got the job, I applied for the job in one of the non-profit here. I did the first interview, the second interview over the phone, Skype. Then they called me to travel to come to Missouri, Kansas City. I came to do the third interview. I was able to get through. Then they asked me if I can relocate here. I said yes. Then I was able to relocate here in the US, and I was able to come to start my life here. So here, basically, I have no regret at all. Yes, in California, we don't have snow. I was happy with that. Very best weather you can ever imagine if you are coming from Africa. But basically that weather was not that very good enough to be able to survive. You have good weather, but you cannot afford the life at all. So what you need to do, you end up finding places which you can be able to achieve or succeed. So here I was able to purchase a home. Here I'm able to have better backyard. I can be able to have garden. I can have kids to play. I can have a lot of good life here compared if I have to survive in California. And the video playing at the back there is my wife Marie. I'm very much thankful to her because she has been very understanding for most of my career decisions, to join the military, moving from one city to another, or from one state to another state. She has been very, very supportive in all those kind of things. So that is the reason why I moved to California. So I was moving from the most expensive state to live, the one I cannot afford, to a state which I can afford. So just assume after moving to California, from California, I moved within 1 year, I was able to purchase a home here in Missouri. So that's why we see the big difference between living in California and living here in Missouri. If I had to continue to live in California, I could live even up for 4, 5, 10 more years without buying a home. But moving to here, I've been able to purchase a home, not just a home, a very big home. I made a video about, I can even share if you want, or if you can go and see the video about the cost of living in the United States. I was comparing to California versus Missouri, California versus to other states like Ohio and other states which are very affordable. So once you want to come to America, you have to consider all those kind of factors to make sure that you are being able to consider before you just jump and come here and just assume you are going to survive and live very, very happily, but you might be struggling to survive here in the US.